What's up, everybody? Welcome back to PitchPassPod. I'm Brett.
It's me, Brando. So we're going to be covering the
Alright.
NFC East today, you guys.
Yeah?
And we're going to start off with the Washington Commanders.
Oh, I
Um,
thought we were starting off with the Cowboys.
oh, sorry. I was looking at the
No, you're
wrong
good. You're
tab.
good.
I literally went backwards there. Who's dyslexic moment?
It's all good.
So we're going to start with the Dallas Cowboys today. Um, let's start with let's start with the big elephant in the room, which is Ezekiel Elliott's contract,
Yeah,
which is god fucking awful.
it's garbage.
Yeah, you're paying so much money to a running back like that honestly hasn't been playing that well. I get it.
No.
Like like to a certain extent he's been hurt, but it's
Yeah, but
starting to
I
really
mean,
affect your roster of
yes.
like his cap hit for this year?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking $18 million.
$18 million, 18.22, yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
The elephant you were going to address was going to be trading Amari for a fifth round pick.
Yeah, fifth round pick for Amari Cooper, essentially losing like what was really a big advantage for them.
Yeah, that's so garbage.
Was having three wide receivers that could just overwhelm a defense with Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and of course CD Lamb. I think CD Lamb is going to pop off this year. I mean, he's going to be fantastic in fantasy,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
especially with Michael Gallup also coming off of injury.
Yeah, but I mean, considering you have he's not a rookie, but a young receiver that you're putting a lot of that hope and trust in with a workhorse running back that's lost a lot of his athleticism.
I wish that they could find a way to trade Ezekiel Elliott somewhere.
I don't think anywhere would
Tony
take him.
Tony Pollard is so good. I
Yeah,
honestly think at this point he's better. I think at this point in his career he's better running the ball than Ezekiel Elliott.
absolutely. I was gonna say I still think Zeke is better at blocking, and
Ezekiel Elliott's one of the best pass blocking running backs in the NFL.
I think he still has better hands. But in terms of actually running the ball, yeah, I completely agree. I think Pollard's better.
Oh, also in the open field, I'd rather have Pollard
Yeah,
instead of Ezekiel Elliott too, because he actually has that.
top speed.
Yeah, because ever since Ezekiel Elliott started getting hurt, started like really taking a bunch of hits on these carries, like that's when like
He's
his
lost that burst.
burst in the top
Yes,
gear, like
exactly.
the top gear's gone.
Yeah.
Like he's at this point in his career,
Hmm.
he's like a jack of all trades running back.
Yeah.
That just doesn't have that much top end, which is okay, but not for when you're paying him $18 million.
Yeah.
Okay,
One thing,
draft class.
one thing I'll say, I'm a little
Yes.
bit confused by the acquisition of Jalen Tolbert. I don't
I
know.
like it.
I like it as well. I'm just confused why they did that in the third round when they could have addressed it in the first or second round. I guess is what my real question is.
Second round, I would have probably went somewhere else. First round, they wanted to get a tackle to like they'll eventually replace Lyle Collins.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand that, but I don't know.
But Tyler Smith, they definitely reached on. They
Yeah.
could have traded back. They could have gotten another wide receiver.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. They
Yeah.
could have probably waited until the second round and probably still got him. But that's Dallas for you. I would also say they should have never drafted Ezekiel Elliott. They freaked out because the number one player on their board, Joey Bosa, got picked a pick before them.
Yeah.
They saw a ghost and they said, well, let's take this Ohio State running back because we have a great offensive line. And guess what? They had a great run for a little bit.
Yep.
But
His
Ezekiel
rookie
Elliott's-
year, he averaged over 5 yards an attempt, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Let me look. Last year, he averaged 4.2.
This isn't terrible.
No.
But when you're paying him this much, you want
Oh,
more.
absolutely.
You need
Especially with that offensive line. It's, yeah. I
you
don't
need
know.
him to be a game changer.
Yeah.
So,
And 2 touchdowns last year. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
He did
You're
have
paying him a
over a
lot.
thousand yards, barely, but he did have over a thousand yards.
Yeah, because he had a shit ton of carries.
Yeah, 237 carries.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and they definitely could have. I do agree. I don't think they took advantage of value in the draft
Yes.
for the first two picks. I think Jalen Tolbert in the third is actually a pretty good pick. I think he is a good complement to CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup,
Yeah.
but still losing Amari Cooper for only a fifth round pick does
Hmm.
suck.
Yeah, and like I'm fine with Tyler Smith because I understand them wanting a tackle there, right? I think that was pretty good value for their pick. Like,
And also, that's how, like, just because that's not the consensus and where everyone else sees him, the
mhm.
team could have saw him in a much like higher light than everyone
Yeah,
else.
and
And
each team has their own like individual scheme and kind of like process for how they do all of their own things, and that's fine. Like he could be a really good fit for your organization, but the Sam Williams in the second round that really confused me.
yeah, I mean, I feel I don't exactly hate the players they took.
No,
It's
same.
just I hate when they drafted
Yes,
them. Is
exactly.
more or less it. I just felt it was kind of a reach. He's not terrible. You're hoping that like he can like grow and be a good player, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
It,
mean, I they
you can also
lost
a lot
so
of players in free agency.
yeah, like Randy Gregory, Amari
Aaron
Cooper.
Williams,
Yes, yeah, and
they lost.
they're like trying to fill holes, but it
Mhm.
like when you said the thing about Zeke and how they panicked, that's kind of how I see this. It's like they didn't really have that sense of urgency when the players actually wanted to leave, but like
Mhm.
when it came draft time, they're like, well, fuck, we need this, we need this, we need this,
Mhm.
and then they like panic drafted out of order. Like I really don't think Sam Williams would have gone before top of the third round minimal. I feel like you could have possibly drafted a receiver in the
Or
second.
even a tackle at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't really understand the order, but I don't hate their draft. I just think they could have done better. It probably doesn't help that they showed everybody their draft list, but you know,
Oh my, Jerry Jones beat Jerry Jones.
no change in that.
He did that after the first night too,
Mm-hmm.
which was the best part of it
I
because you
know.
still have like six more fucking rounds to do.
Don't give a fuck.
Now we can also see what their team's thought process is on different like guys.
Right, now
So,
I'm gonna talk about the other elephant in the room here, but hopefully
oh,
on the opposite side.
I
Um,
think Dak's overrated.
well, we'll get to that in a minute. But what I'm gonna get on is you have two terrific young. I mean, you have a bunch of like good players on this team. Like the Cowboys
Micah
have some
Parsons.
really big names, but Micah
Micah
Parsons and CeeDee
Parsons is
Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, um, Diggs. Even though he gives up a shit ton of yards, is still a fantastic corner.
He's all right. Yeah, he's not bad. He's
I
very
mean, over 10 picks, man.
yeah, but if you look at the yards allowed, I mean, it kind of evens
Yards
itself out.
allowed. I know.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's like. I'm not saying he's a lockdown guy, but he's definitely like a top like 10, 15 corner.
I'd give it top 15. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't go top 10 just because of the yards allowed. Like the picks are impressive, but it's kind of like that. It's
Well,
kind of like the opposite of the Richard Sherman effect, where it's like quarterbacks won't throw to that side of the fucking field because they know it's gonna get picked. It's like you
he's
don't
cornerback Jameis Winston.
exactly, literally, it's you're getting 30-30, 50-50 every time. That's
Cornerback Jameis Winston, man.
yes,
And you know what? When I like the I like him more because in a combination with Micah Parsons,
yes.
of
Well,
how disruptive Micah Parsons can be in
yes.
different areas of the defense.
The pressure
Like,
he can apply at any position that you line him up
mm-hmm.
is astounding. But I really do hope that they line him up more and actually put him in position to pressure the quarterback. I hope that they really fully utilize him. Um,
I want him to keep doing the role they were doing from last year, honestly. Have him line up as defensive end every once in a while.
Hmm.
Have him mostly line up as a linebacker and just move him around. Sometimes have him in coverage. Sometimes have him just blitz or do a stunt. Like
Hmm.
I'm totally down for Micah Parsons just being like a chess piece.
I think that's fine too, but I think
You
it's
want him to be more like you want him to be Von Miller.
I think if you utilize like obviously he's a very versatile and gifted player, both physically and mentally. Like to be able to know those formations and to be able to get value at an NFL level at like wherever they throw you in, that's just fucking impressive for anyone. But
Amazing tackler, great wrestling background.
he got 13 sacks last year, and right, yeah, 13. And I feel like if you lined him up like every time, just nose to the ground, just like if you let him rip, I feel like you have
You have an
15 at least.
I would say probably even more. I think if you line him up, let's say you line him up on the edge
Hmm.
80% of the snaps. I think he will get 18 sacks this year.
I don't doubt that at all. I am very, very high on him. I like him a lot.
I think Parsons this year is going to finish probably with like 16 and a half because I think he's going to be moved around more than that. I think he's
Yeah.
going to line up on the edge maybe like 60% of plays.
Hmm.
And then outside that, be lined up as an off-ball linebacker.
Hmm.
Also, fun fact about him: did you know he played defensive end in high school?
I did not.
Yeah, that's what he originally played in high school, and he got moved to linebacker because there was much more of a need for linebacker at Penn State.
Interesting.
They had a shit ton of defensive ends.
Sounds about right.
I mean, one just got drafted by the Falcons this year, and last year, Dafe Owe got drafted by the Ravens. So
Huh.
there's two. If you had two NFL defensive ends already on campus,
Yeah, makes sense.
there's freaks there, and he can
Yeah,
play
real, real.
fucking linebacker. Fucking do anything on the field, and I would just have him play there. Have the most talent on the field I possibly can.
Well, speaking
Shout out
of,
to Penn State, by the way,
yeah,
because they've been putting kids in the league for the past couple of years.
yeah,
They've put out some freaky athletes.
their program has definitely helped find the proper position for some of these dudes coming out. It's yeah, I don't know. Some of these schools are doing a really good job of just pumping them out. I don't know what's going on there, but
Yeah, honestly, Penn State, I want to like really look into their strength and conditioning program
mhm.
because they just have guys that just come out and show out in the combine.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I know it's kind of like an obvious one, but I wanna look at fucking Alabama's.
Alabama's, well, yeah,
I
Nick Saban gets those kids ready to play in the NFL.
I saw I believe it was a TikTok. It might have been like a YouTube video or something. I don't use social media that much. But I was it you that shared it with me, the like inside of Alabama's facilities?
Maybe.
Dude, that video
Um,
was crazy. Like a day in the life of an off-season athlete, like five-star recruit. I was like, "Holy shit. That's insane."
oh yeah.
It's wild.
Um,
But
it's fucking wild.
we did
So
get a little off track here. But the other thing, the other big thing to address, CD Lamb. Um, like I said a little bit earlier, I think CD Lamb is fantastic. I think he's gonna have a star-studded year. But the
I think
issue
he's gonna.
is he's young, and if you apply a lot of pressure to him, if he gets injured in any way, or if he gets sick or anything, your team really doesn't have that piece. You get
Well,
Gallup back.
well, if Lamb goes down, I think Dallas's offense is definitely gonna be hurting.
Yeah,
They're relying on him being healthy all season.
yes, exactly. And I think it's that point where it's like too dependent because there's a point where it's like, yeah, you have a star player, that's fine, whatever. But uh,
At that point, they're just hoping that the run game can still help. But honestly, without a loaded receiving core, I don't
mhm.
trust Dak Prescott.
Yeah, and the thing with the running game too is like we both agree that Tony Pollard is better as a running back at this point, but the problem is you are handcuffed by Zeke's contract. So when
Yeah,
you're paying
and
a guy that much money, you are not gonna sit him for somebody else taking the snaps, unfortunately.
also just their offensive line is taking a step back. We'll see how it performs this year. So that's not going to really help the run game.
Yeah.
So let's get through the schedule. So they open up the year against Tom Brady in Sunday Night Football at
That
8:20
goodbye
p.m.
tour.
That Tom Brady goodbye tour, and he's gonna fucking tear him apart like he
Oh
did
yeah.
this past.
Well, last year was kind of a close game, but
Last year was close, but Tom Brady still lit him up.
this year I can't fucking see it. I think this year the Cowboys get uh
I don't know. I can see if CD Lamb has a big game, I can see it, but it really just comes down to that. I do think
yeah,
Tampa Bay probably wins by.
by at least a touchdown.
I think I was gonna say 10 points.
I have him at 8. Assuming
All right.
everybody's healthy opening night. No Gronk, 8. So,
So then they play Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
yeah.
So
Back to back.
yeah, back to
Tough
back.
games.
I think they are going to probably lose to the Bengals too. I think there's just a bunch of receivers for the Bengals that
Yeah.
can just overwhelm the corners for the Cowboys.
Absolutely.
And I think the improvements on the offensive line is going to really help. But if the Cowboys win this game, it's going to be the Micah Parsons show on the opposite end.
Absolutely.
It's going to be Micah Parsons taking it to the interior offensive lineman on blitzes and stunts, and also him playing against Joe Mixon in the run game.
Yes. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, the way that the Bengals win this is Joe Burrow just has to have that nice, fast, quick release. That's what he has to do. Even if you're just dumping it to your running back, that's fine. But you need to get rid of the ball very quickly.
Well, and also, I don't think Diggs can hang with Jamar Chase.
Oh my! No
was
one
listening to him
can.
props. Jamar Chase, I think, is going to legitimately just torch him. I think that Jamar Chase is going to just go off. I do think the Bengals win this game. I think it's going to be the Bengals. I'm probably winning that by 4.
Okay.
But I'm giving that one to the Bengals. But the next 2 games for the Cowboys are a little bit easier because it's their division. I think they can beat the Giants. And they can beat they can beat the Commanders. Then they play the Super Bowl champion Rams. I don't think they can win that game against the Rams. Eagles.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard game.
Same time. That's gonna be fun.
So, we'll get to the Giants and the Commanders in a minute. Rams is definitely going to be a tough game.
Tough out.
And I think, again, we'll get to the Eagles in a minute, but I think they're by far the best team in the division.
I agree. I think they're the best overall team.
Yeah. So I think that the Eagles will probably smack the Cowboys a little bit. It probably won't be like a huge win, but it'll probably. I have it as like a touchdown, like between 6 and 8 points.
Me within 3 points.
Fair enough.
I think it's gonna be a field goal game.
All right. I think just because how much the Eagles' offense has improved, I think we'll see Jalen Hurts kind of take that step forward. He had some big games last year, but I think we're gonna see like a big game from him here.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna need to for them to win.
Next up
he's
is
gonna need Detroit.
Yeah.
This is a sneaky game.
Yeah, for real.
This is a sneaky game. This is a trap game.
So we've talked about the Lions. The Lions actually could have a positive record this year. Will they win against the Cowboys?
I don't think they will.
I don't either.
But I think the Lions are definitely going to cover the spread in this game.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
I think the problem that the Lions have, they could use some upgrades on defense, sure, but I think to take that next step, they kind of have that Jared Goff handcuff right now.
Yep. Which is fun
Yeah.
because this upcoming draft class, there's a bunch of quarterbacks.
Yeah, for sure.
And Jared Goff He's going to help you figure out and gauge what you need to improve on this team.
Yeah.
That's what Jared Goff is great for. He's a good enough quarterback to show you what you have on your roster
Yep.
and what you need to improve.
Real. Next up, they play the Bears. I think the Bears are just.
No.
We've talked about this. The Bears are just going to be bad this year.
Micah Parsons should just mirror Justin Fields all game.
Hey, Justin Fields gonna cry. I would. I cry for him. That it's just gonna be a sad showing.
Micah Parsons and Justin Fields are probably about the same like caliber of athlete when it comes
to mobility.
When it comes to like how fast they are and how they like move.
Sorry, you cut out. I just wanted to clarify.
Oh yeah. Then it's against the Packers. I think my Packers can win this game.
Yeah, I think the Packers win defensively alone. I think the running back tandem that you guys have is really, really good. Really looking forward to seeing the new receiver.
How Christian Watson can play. And hopefully by that point in the season, he'll be a little bit more experienced.
Yeah.
And then they play Minnesota. That one's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Minnesota's gonna be interesting. I think both these teams are pretty evenly matched. That one's gonna come down to it. I think this one Dallas pulls out.
I completely agree. I have him by a field goal for this game as well. Kirk Cousins, I don't know what to say. He has some really good games, but he has some very Kirk Cousins games. Maybe if your contract wasn't taking up half your team's, anyway, it's fine.
Giants again. I think the Giants can maybe split.
Same, yeah.
Like, maybe split it with the Cowboys.
If Saquon is healthy, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't know.
And if Daniel Jones is healthy and playing well.
I firmly believe the former. I don't know if I believe the latter, but we'll see about it. We'll see.
Dallas, Indianapolis. That one's going to be a
That's
good game.
That's going to be a really good game, yeah.
I think I'm going to give it to Indy. I'll give it to Indy on an edge. Just because I also heard a rumor today about Julio Jones maybe wanting to sign in Indianapolis.
That would be devious. I like that a lot.
If he can be healthy and productive, he just needs to be the number 2 in the passing game. Or even number 3 if Alec Pierce is ready to play.
If he's any amount of production, even if it's just drawing coverage, like he's such a big body, he's such a good red zone target. Yeah, that's just icing on the cake. That is that fantastic offense. So, yeah, that would be awesome. I also give it to the Colts. I think it's going to be one of those weird, like, 2 to 4 point games, but I think so.
Mm-hmm. Then Houston, I think Dallas is going to roll Houston.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a little taste of the Death Star.
Jacksonville, this is a trap game.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those games where the Cowboys probably go in overconfident, and it's a much closer game than it should be, or the Jags blow them out. If it's one of those close games, the Cowboys will like barely get it. But if it's, I don't know. I think the Cowboys probably barely win, but
it depends. I think it depends how Doug. I think this is my hot take. I think the Jags win this game.
Okay.
I think the Jags win this game. I think Doug Peterson knows how to coach against the Cowboys. And I think this is going to be just a hilarious game. Because all the Cowboys fans are going to be crying. I don't think they're going to take it seriously. I don't think they're going to prepare as much as they should.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to lose by like a touchdown. And it's going to probably be fucking... It would be so nice if the dagger is like a touchdown to Evan Ingram, a former Giant. That would be such a chef's kiss.
Oh, yeah.
And then they play the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to probably win this game. I mean, the Eagles are going to probably beat them twice.
I think they can beat them twice, but you know how it is with like the same division games. Sometimes you get those weird splits.
And then I think Dallas can beat Tennessee.
I agree.
And then against Commanders, I mean, they can beat the Commanders again.
Yeah.
I just think Carson Wentz. I'll get to it when we talk about the Commanders. I'll go on that rant. So the Cowboys over/under is 10.5.
10.5.
Getting them to 11 wins. So I'm gonna go back and count.
I have them at 8 at most. Yeah, 9 at most, but probably 8 win team. Jesus. Yeah, no. 10.5. No, thank you. Sorry, guys, for me muting for a minute. By the way, I got the hiccups. I was trying to get rid of them. Um, yeah, I have them like 8 wins. I think that's really it. I
I
don't
think
even.
their maximum is probably 9.
That's exactly, yeah. I think their
So
minimum's
I'll
probably
go the
7.
under. I would go the under on the Cowboys.
Yeah. Not much to say. I fuck the
Yeah.
Cowboys though.
I have no issue with Dallas. You guys are such a big fan base. And you have to admit the Dallas Cowboys have a very good history. That's something you got. I love their team's history.
Um,
It's very.
yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Their fans are very similar to fans of, like, let's be real. They're very similar Yankee fans and Lakers fans when it comes to like the way people perceive them. They're
Yeah.
sometimes people like every year they're just like, we're gonna win a championship.
Yeah, that's
even if they
fair.
had even if they went like 2-13 the year prior.
You know, they definitely do have a dedicated fan base. I will say
They
that.
do. That's the reason why a lot of people hate on them.
And the other reason, I will say primarily because I love Dak. I did not like what he did last year,
Yeah.
but but the reason I don't like the Cowboys primarily is because of Jerry Jones.
I don't mind Jerry. I like Jerry Jones.
I don't know. He
I think he's a zany character. I'm happy he's not my team's owner,
yeah.
but he's a zany character, and I love him. Here for you, Jerry.
Ready
Right.
to move on to the Giants?
Let's move on to New York Giants. New York, New Jersey Giants. We love you, Giants. Oh my god. So they got a new head coach, Brian Dable, who
Yes.
should help Daniel Jones
Yes.
progress as a quarterback. The guy who's behind unlocking Josh Allen in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I actually think this is probably gonna be the best offensive line that Daniel Jones has ever had. Same
Oh
with
yeah.
Saquon.
Yes, for sure.
Both tackles should now be figured out.
Hmm.
I like to laugh there. Should be figured out.
Yeah, emphasis on the should.
Hey, Evan Neal, I thought had a real shot of going number 1 overall.
Yeah, same. In the like earlier days, I definitely did too.
And they also got my number 1 prospect in the NFL in this year's draft class, and Kayvon Thibodeau, play defensive end, which I love their draft.
Yeah, I think they had a top 5, top 4 draft. I agree.
Because they got 2 guys that you could honestly say they had a legitimate shot of being the best player at their position in the draft.
Yes, absolutely. And I honestly think the Wandale Robinson pick was pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was as good for the position that they drafted him in, but kind of acknowledging and addressing that earlier on in the draft before it slipped, I think it was fine.
Yeah, and let's be real. Eventually, they need to get rid of Sterling Shepard.
Eventually, how about now?
Now just trade him anywhere. Just cut him. I bet
Literally.
you Sterling Shepard doesn't start the season.
I could certainly see that.
Like, I bet you he ends up getting cut. Now, watch as I say this. He goes and has a great season.
Pops off, yeah.
Pops off. They're number 1. Number 1 fucking wide receiver. No, that'll be hopefully fucking hopefully that would be Ladarius Toney. Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius, yeah.
Kadarius, not Ladarius. Kadarius Toney. My apologies. Hopefully that's Kadarius Toney, that slippery man that I swear has never lost a game of tag in his entire life.
Yo, real, honestly.
That man's balance and the way he just moves is just something else. I've
My-
never seen something like it.
My comp for him is Alvin Kamara.
Yep, he's a
Yep.
wide receiver out in Kamara.
Yep.
That's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
The
I
contact bounds,
I really hope Darius Slayton has a good year too.
dude. I hope there's a real chance that Darius Slayton doesn't even fucking see the field.
That may be true, but I hope he has a good year.
I hope he has a good year too. I also hope Kenny Galladay actually fucking plays.
Yeah. I think didn't his contract for the future get voided? Didn't they void the, or is it just an option to void?
I think there's an
Oh,
option
he
too.
he signed through 2024 with a void of 2025. Okay.
Do you really like the Giants draft? I think they're gonna be better than what people are giving them credit for.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. This
I think
whole
they're
division,
sneaky good.
this whole division, in the past few years has definitely been a joke since like you know what, I would argue and say 2016 was probably the last year that
Yeah.
this division was like decent, and it was only because of the Cowboys and Eagles really. Um,
It's really funny that I'm gonna backtrack to the Dallas Cowboys to dunk on them real quick.
mhm.
It's so crazy that the team, the number one offense and the number one defense, didn't win a fucking playoff game.
Yeah. Well, you know,
The second time ever that's ever happened.
what was the first?
The San Diego Chargers a couple years
Oh,
back had number one offense and defense and
yeah.
didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah. It'd be like
That's
that
because their
sometimes.
special teams unit was the worst of all time.
We know a lot about that, don't we?
Yes, I do. It's fucking awful. Fucking hate it. Anywho, back to the Giants. Let's go to their
Their
go to
schedule.
their
Oh,
free
you know.
agents.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was gonna say schedule.
Then we'll go to their schedule. They lost Logan Ryan and Kyle Rudolph to the Buccaneers, which is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
James Bradbury to
James
divisional
Bradbury.
rival Eagles.
Yeah.
That one had to hurt.
Yeah. Especially because the Eagles are good this year. They're gonna be. Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there.
They lost Evan Ingram, the Jags, Jabril Peppers to the
Mm-hmm.
Patriots. Lorenzo Carter, the Falcons. Yeah, they lost a lot. They lost a decent amount of players, but nothing that's not replaceable, pretty much.
Nah.
They lost just good players for them, not good players in general.
Yeah.
Well, except for James Bradbury.
James
James
Bradbury is
Bradbury
really
was
good.
actually decent.
Yeah. I was really hoping we would land him actually, but I'm okay with. I'm okay with what
Yeah,
happened.
be okay with what you have.
Yeah. Oh,
I
definitely.
never want to hear a complaint with your $500 million quarterback.
Isn't yours the highest paid this year? Isn't that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, he is. But yours is not signed for fucking 10 years and $500 million guaranteed, though.
Hey man, you know, it'd be like that. It's fine.
Can't
It's fine.
guarantee ours that, though, because honestly, like, he's just like 2 more peyote trips away from just saying everyone's a lizard person.
Hey man, you know,
Okay, I love Aaron Rodgers. I
same.
think I'm a big fan, but
His new tattoo is crazy though.
dude, his new tattoo is dope. I found that
It's crazy.
dope. I'm here for it. I'm here for every wild thing Aaron Rodgers does, honestly. I want his life to get even wilder.
Yeah,
But
same.
back to the Giants. I am so sorry, Giants and Giants fans. I honestly think they're a lot better than people are going to give them credit for.
Same.
I think defensively, their secondary is going to kind of get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I think their defensive line is going to actually be pretty good.
I agree.
They still have Leonard Williams. They signed Jihad Ward. They drafted Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yes.
I think it's gonna be really nasty. And Michael Strahan wants to like
Coach and
be there.
mentor.
Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau. That's fucking dope. But there's another schedule which seems actually kind of difficult. They open off the season with the Titans. This game, I think, is a toss-up.
Yeah, I really see it as a 50-50. I think it's another field goal game.
I think it's a field goal game.
I hope the Giants win, and when I was calculating, I give the Giants the win in this.
Look at the Giants win too. I was gonna be spicy. Giants to win against Titans, them against Carolina Panthers week 2.
Win. I don't care who's starting quarterback. I have the Giants winning.
I'll take the Giants in that game too. Cowboys, I think they lose to the Cowboys. Bears, I think they can beat Chicago. Right there off the rip, First 4 games, 3-1.
3-1.
Packers. I think the Packers are gonna
3-2.
I think demoralize them in London.
Yeah.
They play the
Ravens.
Seahawks.
Wait, no, they
No,
play
they
the
play the
Ravens.
Ravens.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I
yeah.
scrolled one
No,
down
you're
too.
good. You're good.
Yeah, Lamar's gonna have a field day.
Yeah.
3-3, right?
Yeah.
So Jaguars, that's a toss-up game.
I think they win over the Jags.
I think, man,
I
I
think the
think
Jags are going to be really good, and I think Trevor Lawrence is going to put up really good numbers that game. But I just have a feeling
I
that
just,
Saquon's going to have a good game.
mm, I'll take the Jags here. I'll split it with you.
Okay.
I'll split that one in a different direction. You'll take the Giants. I'll take the Jags. We'll revisit this video and see. Actually, I'm gonna make note of it.
Okay. Bet.
October 23rd. Side
October
bet.
23rd. Send Brett a note that says "fuck you."
That says fuck you. LOL. Giants. All right, Brando took the Jags. Brett took Giants. There we go. We're gonna revisit that. Okay. So then they played the Seahawks. I think they beat the Seahawks.
Oh yeah.
I don't think the Seahawks are very good.
Unless they sign someone decent. If the Seahawks signed Cam, they could pull out a couple sneaky wins.
I still think no. That offensive line's gonna be.
Oh, I know it's terrible, but
they're Giants, Texans. I think they beat the Texans. Giants, Lions. I think they lose to the Lions.
I agree.
Cowboys, Giants. I think they split the series with the Cowboys.
Completely agree.
Commanders. I think they beat the Commanders. I think they're actually honestly split the series with them.
I feel the exact same way.
Eagles. I think the Eagles are gonna probably sweep them. I mean, another hot take. I think the Eagles sweep their fucking division for fucking once.
You know what? I think the Eagles could lose one game to Dallas. I really think they split the series just because of how
maybe with the Dallas.
Yeah.
Maybe the Dallas. You know what? That's the one I can maybe see. Them splitting one with Dallas.
Yeah.
Commanders, Giants. I think that one they're gonna split. Giants, Vikings. That one's gonna be interesting. I think I'm gonna take the Vikings in that one.
I'm also taking the Vikings. Yeah.
I think Kirk Cousins is just a better quarterback than Daniel Jones.
I agree with that.
Straight up. Colts, Giants. I'm gonna take the Colts.
I agree again.
The Colts are gonna be a honestly really good team this year.
Yeah.
Eagles, Giants. Eagles again.
Yeah.
So what are the Giants over under? You're wondering, folks. Well, let's find out. So it is 7.5. So I think they can get to 8 wins.
Man, I think you have them at 7 and I have them at 8 is what I believe my notes have. Yeah, I have them at 8 and you have them at 7. Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with taking the under.
I'm cool with taking. Oh man, I don't want to. Taking the over on the Giants? Are you joking, man? I don't know. You know what? I'll take them at 8. I will take them at 8. Sure.
They're taking the over.
I probably shouldn't. You know what? I'll change.
Over.
I'll change my mind on the Jags game because I do think football Jesus can shred them in the secondary. I think.
Really funny that you said that quote because that was said by Jihad Ward, who just signed with the Giants this year.
Great, great. Yeah, I'll take the under. I'll take him at 7 wins here.
There we go. You really didn't want to take the Giants for the over, huh?
I could not see myself doing that.
I do not blame you.
Are you ready to? Oh, the one last point that I would like to make about the Giants is this is definitely this is the deciding year. They didn't pick up the 5th-year option on Daniel Jones.
100%.
And Saquon, with his injury history, I know it's not his fault at all. I know that man puts in God's work with strengthening, conditioning, and just trying to stay healthy. But just with no offensive line, this is his best shot to show
He has the
That
best offensive line he's had
yeah, yeah.
right now this year.
This is the only offensive line he's had. Uh,
Mhm.
I love Saquon. Like, if you told me any like running back that's in the league right now, I could build my franchise around. Like as a rookie, I probably would have chosen Derrick Henry. But like, if we're talking like more recent, I would have chosen Saquon. I love Saquon. I have always loved Saquon. Always tried to draft him in fantasy just because even with that shit ass line and even with bad mediocre quarterback play, I believe in him. Um, I really hope that if he doesn't stay in New York, but he really strikes me as a loyal guy, so we'll end up
I
seeing.
think I think he has a good season with the New York Giants.
Hmm.
In my heart of hearts, I want him to go to the 49ers so
Hmm.
badly. Because him and Trey Lance in that running game,
Hmm.
The way Kyle Shanahan wants to run that zone, and how much room Saquon Barkley would have to work,
Real.
chef's kiss.
Just got to be careful with that cap.
I don't. Well, here's the thing: if you trade away Jimmy Garoppolo,
That frees up a
or you can
lot.
get him off the cap, that's like 20 mil right there. Zeke cost 18 mil. I think you can probably get Saquon for, if you want to front load the contract, get him for 15 mil.
Yeah.
16 mil to 17.
Just give him a big signing bonus and it'll spread out. I also know with the cash over cap thing,
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd find some way to make it work.
Oh, there's a bunch of ways you can make it work, but that's it. I think he has a good season with the Giants.
Yeah, same.
It's gonna really decide
The
if he comes
future.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is gonna be an interesting team to watch this year.
Yeah, for real.
I think they're gonna ruin some teams' seasons, and I'm gonna fucking love it.
Oh, same. It's about time that people other than the Patriots in the Super Bowl get humbled by the Giants.
Yeah, for real. I think the Giants are gonna low key humble people and fucking scare some people this year.
Well,
Just
yeah.
not like actually like make noise like get in the playoffs, but
No.
like give teams at least a run for their money. Give them some closer games that they didn't expect.
Yeah, they could contest some playoff teams. Yeah, I
Oh
agree.
yeah, you know what? I think the Giants do what Detroit did last year,
Oh yeah.
where they were just in every game and just gave teams that were much better than them like a hard time.
Detroit was like the master of playing exactly to competition.
They
Like
had a winning record if you went by like with the spread.
real, true.
Okay. So are we? So we're going to the
Philadelphia
Eagles.
Eagles. Yes.
All right.
This is the team that I am very excited to talk about. Let's talk about their draft first and foremost.
Oh
There's not
man,
a lot here, but
Jordan Davis
Jordan Davis,
was a
fantastic.
great pick.
Yes.
Okay. Their defensive line depth, honestly, looks like two different defensive lines.
It really, really does. So, I don't really know Cam Jurgens. I looked at stats and stuff, and he looked good. That's fine. But
Mm-hmm.
I was very, very high on Nakobe Dean. I actually had him. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember. I had him going at the end of the first round. I think I had him going to the Patriots in my
I
mock.
thought, yeah, we both thought that he was going to still be a first round pick, but
So,
teams were
yeah.
just scared off by something. He's a smart kid. He doesn't have
Yeah.
any problems off the field. I think teams are just afraid of him getting hurt or ending up like Ryan Shazier. Maybe I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't understand why, but I think it's fantastic that they snagged him. The
Mm-hmm.
Eagles already have, like you said, so much depth in their roster, and for them to just add on to that, both in the draft and the acquisition of AJ Brown, like considering market value for a bunch of shit, like
Mm-hmm.
trading that for AJ Brown is dirt cheap.
They got AJ Brown. They also acquired James Bradbury.
Yes. Hmm.
And okay, they got Hassan Reddick from the Panthers to
Hmm.
play as an edge rusher. They have so many defensive linemen
Hmm.
that guys are just going to be playing specific roles.
Yeah.
Anthony Harris also came back to play safety
Hmm.
this year, and This is an underrated signing that I think a lot of people aren't paying too much attention to. Jaquaski Tart from the 49ers signed with
Yes.
them a little bit later on.
Yes.
And that's the guy who dropped the pick against the Rams, but he put himself in the correct position and he's had a good couple years with the 49ers.
Hmm.
I think he's gonna make a difference back there. The only place I could really see people being able to attack the Eagles defense
Hmm.
is their linebackers in coverage and probably the slot. That's about it though. I think they're pretty solid at both the two safety spots and at outside corner.
Yeah.
The defensive line has a lot of depth, and now they have a good amount of wide receivers for Jalen Hurts and an offense to really work.
And they brought back Fletcher Cox. That's something really important. They still have
That's
Darius
huge.
Slay. They still have Jason
Brandon
Kelsey.
Graham
Yes. Um, I
and
think
Devonta
Devontae Smith.
Smith.
Yes. It's important also. Miles Sanders is back and healthy this year, and Boston Scott looked pretty good. Um,
Well, and Gainwell damn near might just
Kenneth,
take
right? Yeah. Yeah.
damn near might just take that starting job. Honestly,
We'll see. That's
he
certainly a
he,
possibility.
he played well last year, but
Yeah.
Eagles' schedule is honestly pretty fucking tough.
Yeah, it definitely is, but if you consider, well, let's just run through it. So they open with the Lions. I think the Lions are definitely going to be good, like we've talked about, but the Eagles
Mhm.
are a really good team. I think they win this. Then they go
I
to the
think
Vikings.
that's a prime time game for a reason. That's going to be a
Yeah.
bang.
Um,
I
I think it's going to be a good Dalvin Cook game.
I think it's going to be a great Jalen Rager game.
It's possible. It's
That'd
definitely
be
possible.
hilarious. Jalen Rager and Justin Jefferson go off
Oh my
because
God.
Jalen Rager was literally picked by the fucking Eagles to pick before the Vikings,
Yeah?
and then they picked Justin Jefferson. How different do you think it would be if they somehow had picked Justin Jefferson?
Dude.
AJ Brown probably wouldn't be on the roster, but
Yeah. Well,
because
I
you want to
mean,
pay the money.
imagine if he was. That would be a
Mm-hmm.
terrifying tandem.
Mm-hmm. Oh, trio.
You could, well, yeah, true.
Dante Smith, AJ Brown, and Justin Jefferson.
You could plug any quarterback in the
Mm.
league in there and find success.
But man, that's gonna be a close game. I'll take the Eagles
I
over
also
Minnesota.
take the Eagles, yeah. Yeah.
Commanders. I think they're gonna fucking blow up the
Demolish,
Commanders.
yeah. Against the
Jaguars.
Jags.
Jaguars. This game's fun because
Mhm.
Doug Peterson coaching against his former team,
That's exactly what
his
I was
former
thinking.
offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Um, I think the Eagles could definitely still win this game. I don't
Well, I think the
know.
Eagles. I think they beat the Jags. I think they beat the
Yeah.
Jags.
I think the Jags defense is going to show out in this game. But yeah, I think the Eagles probably win by a touchdown.
Yeah,
But
or by a field goal or something.
yeah, between 3 and 7, just not like 10 or more. But I think they still win. Against the Cardinals is a difficult game.
Cardinals. I'll take the Cardinals in that one.
This
I think the
is
Cardinals
one,
are beat
two,
the
three,
Eagles.
4, 5, 6. I remember talking about this. So at this point, D Hop will be back and he will be healthy
Yes.
coming off of that suspension, so he won't have had any
Yes.
contact. He will be completely healthy. Yeah, I think the Cards are gonna fucking rip this game.
Yeah,
Um,
especially since they're also going to have Hollywood Brown
hmm
playing too. AJ Green's still there as well,
Well,
and Rondale Moore.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, well, we could have
Okay,
skipped one of those
just
names.
have, just have AJ Green just essentially just play tight end.
Real, real.
Like you can, AJ Green could probably win from like in the slot in like that air raid offense.
Yeah, it's and with how much Kyler's able to scramble and buy time for them to get open, I think that's. Oh wait, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking. I was thinking
Also,
both sides of the field. Yeah.
shout to Kyler for securing the bag.
Yeah, real. Um, sorry, I got distracted. I was looking at the Cardinals roster. Yeah, I think both sides. It's going to be really interesting because you have two quarterbacks who are able to be so mobile in that game.
Mm-hmm.
That's really going to be an interesting game. I was thinking like with D Hop coming back, Kyler's going to be able to scramble and find time for those jump balls, but I
two
guess.
guys that play, two quarterbacks that played at Oklahoma
Mhm.
and played under Lincoln Riley.
True.
Jalen Hurts did transfer to Oklahoma for his last year of eligibility.
Yeah. Huh. I think it'll be a good game. I think the Cardinals probably win it though.
Oh, I agree.
Um,
So
Cowboys
Eagles,
Eagles is
Cowboys.
next. Yeah.
I'll
I
take the Eagles.
yeah, I really
Well,
think the Cowboys split the series, but I don't know if it's gonna be the.
this game at Dallas.
I
It's
believe
at
so.
Philly.
Oh, it is?
It's
Okay.
at Philly. Philly at
Um,
prime time. Give me Philly. Philly's
yeah.
such a hostile environment.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
fans are just hostile.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think the Cowboys do manage to split the series, but I really think if it's at home in prime time, I think the Eagles win this one. Um, Steelers
So I went
Eagles.
a Civil War in Pennsylvania. Give me the Eagles against the Steelers here.
Yeah,
I think
same.
the Eagles are just a more complete roster.
Eagles wipe the next 2 weeks versus the Texans versus the Commanders. Uh,
Yep.
I think the Eagles actually lose
Colts.
to the Colts.
I think they beat the Colts.
Okay.
I think they have the roster to really slow the Colts down. I think they have the defensive line, talent, and depth to really hold that running game at bay.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
And I don't think they have enough pass catchers to really make enough of a difference for Matt Ryan to be able to get past, to be able to like put up enough points on the board.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
Well,
take the Eagles
yeah,
in this one.
that's fair. I think they lose to the Packers. I don't.
Oh, I think yeah, 100%. I think the Packers beat them in prime time.
And then it's against Titans.
Titans, give me the Titans.
Really?
Not Titans, sorry.
Oh,
Give me
okay.
the Eagles.
All right.
No,
All
we're
right.
gonna fuck up the Titans. Sorry. I
Uh,
don't know why I did that shit.
Eagles, Giants. Yeah, I think the Eagles' only loss within the division is going to be the Cowboys. Um,
Cowboys or maybe split a game with the Giants would be the other one. I don't think they
yeah.
fucking beat the Commanders.
Oh no, no chance. They
Also, it's gonna be
mob.
really funny. It's gonna be so funny watching Carson Wentz play against Philly twice this
Oh my
year.
God, yeah. Funny,
I'm thinking
sad, one of the above.
Patrick Cox is gonna sack him at some point.
Oh,
Hopefully.
absolutely.
Um,
They go to the Bears next. That's just gonna be a
they
mob.
beat the Bears.
Um,
Dallas. This is the one I think Dallas wins. I think
I
Dallas can win at home.
I think so too. And then against the
Jerry World.
Saints, I actually think they lose to the Saints.
Saints.
You know I'm really high on the Saints though, so I wouldn't blame you if
We
you
are.
split it
I'll
the
take
opposite
Philly over
way.
the Saints, honestly.
Okay, and then I think they beat the Giants in the last game. So that's what 14-3, 13-4, something like that. So that's really good.
Yeah. So I think that we're gonna hit their. So the Eagles over under is 9.5. I think
Oh
we're
my
saying they're
God.
gonna hit over.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think
Yeah.
we're both saying the over here.
We're
I
unanimous on
think
that,
we
no
both think
question.
Philly's gonna be really good this year.
Yeah.
Partially because their schedule's not terrible. Schedule's
No.
pretty prime.
There's definitely worse. They definitely looking at this now because I didn't look at their schedule when we had predicted out like the best record in the division and stuff. Philly might be able to have the best record in the NFC.
I'm not gonna go that far.
I mean,
I'm not gonna go that far. I think maybe because they're a division,
yes,
just because there's only one other fully competent team that we know of
yes.
with Dallas. But I think it's gonna probably be Green Bay still.
I I
Not,
I think it's a big might, but it's only because of the in division.
yeah, the in division. I don't know. My team's division's kind of dog shit, honestly. I came to. No, I guess Detroit got better.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Lions definitely got better. The Vikings, you never know
You
when
know
they're gonna
what?
pull one game, but
I think best divi. I don't know. Tampa could have a really good record too.
I don't think Tampa gets over like 11 or 12 wins though.
I
I
don't think
think
so
just
either. 'Cause the schedule is tough.
yeah, the quality of teams
It's a
has
hot
gone up.
take. Best record in the NFC. That's a hot take.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I
I think
did
the
say
top-
might, but yeah.
I'm gonna take the Packers for the best record, but the Eagles they definitely have a shot.
Yeah.
especially by looking at their schedule.
Yeah,
How they
exactly.
back up.
That was just my first thought. I was like, I don't know if any other teams are like other than the Packers are capable of hitting like 14 wins. And I mean, if they can stay healthy and if they have
Yeah.
so much depth, this really could be like a 13, 14 win team. Really good.
Yeah. God, I'm looking at their defensive line again, and it is just so fucking
Nasty.
nasty.
Yeah.
Like just guys that they have slated to start: Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Derek Barnett.
Hmm.
That's not even including Jordan Davis, Reddick, Ron Jackson, Josh Sweat, fucking Milton Williams. Like this defensive line is just so deep.
And we haven't even talked about the most important
Two
part. They
defensive line.
have Gardner Minshew, the GOAT.
The, oh, the mullet man.
Immediate
Mullet
buff to your
man.
roster.
Oh,
Some
they're gonna be a solid team this year.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna be so good. It's gonna be fun to watch the Eagles be good again.
I think they probably need like a year of playoff experience. Like I think this year they could win one round in the playoffs, but I don't think they go any further than that just because they are young and inexperienced, but they really have the potential to build like a really really solid team, especially with how this division's kind of shaky. Yeah.
Oh. So rotating to over. Bro saying that Philly's gonna win this division, right?
Yes. Yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
All right, on
We
to the
gotta
disappointment now.
Yeah, we gotta end on a bad
All
note.
right. So
Washington Commanders.
Washington Commanders. They're just as disappointing as everyone else in DC. Um,
Oh, real.
so I'm very shocked that I watched them get just duped, just absolutely fucking duped by the Colts. We watched Carson Wentz be bad last year, right? We watched Carson Wentz not be great, make a bunch of really poor decisions with a fucking great offensive line, the best running back in the NFL last year, a emerging wide receiver one in Michael Pittman,
Yeah.
and just fucking make bonehead decisions and fucking turn the ball over and just not play well.
All right.
How the hell?
Here's my hot take. The Commanders are doing this as a move
To
specifically.
tank?
Yeah, well, yes, but to make it so blatantly obvious that they're making poor decisions that people will question their office because and not in the way of like should you be in the office because everybody knows that the people in charge have done awful things. We started finding out as far as I know, it started largely with the cheerleader modeling naked thing and then it moved into questionable personnel and like some of the things that came out in some of the books about
Dan Snyder is just a dirtbag, and
yeah
everyone, and like a good portion of people that are in that organization are not much better.
yeah
I love the same day that that Dan Snyder was supposed to be in Washington D.C.
hmm
when he got subpoenaed, he was on his boat in fucking his yacht in fucking France.
yeah. So there if you look into like his fortune and like I know we talked about this like my last semester of school we were talking about this and kind of trying to figure out
Mm-hmm.
like what the fuck is going on with the Commanders. um
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it really seems like there's just a lot of bad shit going on,
He's
so
shady.
just
He's
making
shady.
like
He
a
was hiding the
bad
books.
yeah.
He was hiding money from the fucking NFL.
Well, also from the IRS, like just the way that
Mm-hmm.
everything worked. Like, why would you keep two books? Like, well, two books that were publicly released, but probably more than that, so they could scam the IRS too. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, dude. It like, and you're scamming for like smaller games and like fundraisers and shit. Like, what a fucking dirtbag organization. It's just sad and pathetic.
In the same day that like the new president that they hired to try to clean things up,
Yeah,
the same day that he sent out an email for them to like make sure that they like can show off how inclusive and how much they've changed and improved. sent a picture of 4 employees on Snyder's yacht. 4 young, all white employees who are execs, and they posted a picture of it saying, "I love working with only beautiful people."
Oh,
And
didn't
you
know
want to
about
hear
that.
that was like along the lines. I think the quote was probably cringe or TBH, but there was fucking cocaine on the table.
Oh, of course there
They didn't
was.
notice it.
International waters, baby, can't prosecute.
Yeah, look great. Um,
I spilled my flour. Sorry about that.
mm-hmm. So I can't believe the Colts got a second and a fucking third.
Dude, I like. There's
And a
no
conditional third round
explanation.
pick for next year.
There's no explanation other than, hey, we're tanking and we're trying to draw attention away from how shitty our front office is. Like, there's just no way.
The fact that he got a second round pick and 2/3 is just still insane.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
will get the other one. Like it's no question.
Well, with how much he's bounced around Carson Wentz and like how mediocre he's been since his potential MVP season, like
He's not better than Taylor Heineke, right? Am I crazy for saying this?
I
Like
really
I would
don't think
rather have
so.
Taylor Heineke playing.
You know,
Like, Carson Wentz has higher upside than Heineke,
yeah,
but Heineke's more stable.
consistent. I completely agree.
He's more consistent. Like he's gonna give you a more consistent level of play, and
Yeah.
per dollar that you're spending, he's a better player than Carson.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
like
No question. Yeah.
you didn't have to give up fucking 3 picks to do it.
Yeah, and if you keep Heineke around, like you might have a slightly higher win total. It might be worse if Carson plays really well over a period of time, but it's just, his high level of play is not sustainable. He does not learn from his mistakes. He does not know how to read a defense.
Which is kind of crazy because Carson Wentz's second league in the NFL, second year in the NFL, he legit was gonna win MVP before he got hurt. The year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, he got hurt towards ACL against the Rams, and
Yeah.
it took all the way until like the last week of the season for like Russell Wilson to pass him up for most touchdowns of the year.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But I actually did like their draft though.
The
I'm not
Eagles?
gonna lie. The Commanders
Oh, the
draft
Commanders,
I really liked.
I liked Jahan Dotson. I'm kind of confused
Jahan
why they
Dotson.
drafted him first, but I do think he was deserving of a first round pick. But
I like him as a compliment to Terry McLaurin. They're both
Yeah.
fast wide receivers, good route runners. I think they drafted him to either replace Terry McLaurin if he didn't sign his extension,
that's fair.
and or just be a good compliment.
Yeah. I don't know. I
I like it. I think they're both gonna be getting open, and Carson Wentz is just gonna miss them. It's gonna be great.
That wouldn't surprise me. Do you think they at a certain point just pull and start Heineke?
Maybe. It's kind of wild. The Commanders, their wide receiver group is fast.
Yeah.
It's Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Dynamite Brown.
Yeah.
If they were a 4x1 team, they would be low-key killing some teams then.
Oh yeah, they would be the gold medalists of the NFL probably. Well, no, the Dolphins alone, but other than that,
Yeah. I like them getting Mathis to like help get depth in their defensive interior, especially with them cutting Matt Leonidas. Also, Deron Payne's getting last year's contract, just in case if you don't want to
resign.
sign him.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson Jr., I didn't understand that draft pick in the third, especially since you have Antonio Gibson. Mostly because I want to trash Antonio Gibson, but that's
Yeah,
whatever.
for real.
You know, that was 100% Ron Rivera move because he always likes to have 2 running backs. His best days in Carolina is when he had Jonathan Stewart and who's that other running back?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm looking it up right now. D'Angelo Williams. When he had D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, they called him Double Trouble.
Yeah.
Or Smash and Dash. Like, that is the kind of like running back duo he's trying to recreate here.
Yeah.
Which is when his offenses were at their best. So I don't know. Maybe it'll work out. They're just gonna run the ball a lot,
Well,
which maybe they should with Carson anyway.
J.D. McKissick's still there, right?
I thought they cut J.D. McKissick. I'm not sure.
Let me look.
Let's see. Let me check on over to Cap. J.D. McKissick. Yes, they did re-sign him,
Yep.
but he's reclassified as a wide receiver. Ooh,
Interesting. That's an interesting move.
and he'll probably still play both, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I
I
didn't know
like
that.
Sam Howell. Yeah, I just saw that too. That's interesting.
I
like
also like
Sam
Sam
Howell
Howell. Same.
to the Commanders. I could see Sam Howell being the starter for this team in the 2023-2024 season.
Very much same. I agree, especially because you have two speedy receivers. With his deep ball accuracy, I think it'll be fine.
Also, I'm gonna say this about Sam Howell. I think he got bad advice when he was deciding whether or not to declare for the draft this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because him going in the 5th round, I think next year, I think he could have actually went in a higher round. It's a better quarterback class.
Probably.
He could have entered the transfer portal. Could have went to a better program or a better team. And he could have, if he went to a big school, he could have made more in NIL deals probably than what he's making this year in the NFL with his contract.
Yeah, that's unfortunately true.
That's my hot take. That's my hot take right there. I think he lost out on some money, but I think he's in a good position to start long-term in the NFL.
Especially if they're tanking this year. I mean, they'll have some more pieces to build around him. But you have McLaurin re-signed, and yeah, and you have Jahan Dotson for the future. Yeah,
we'll just let spicy Baker Mayfield develop on the bench for a little bit. Fine.
Spicy Baker Mayfield.
I think he's like Baker Mayfield plus. Honestly, I think he's better than Baker Mayfield.
I agree with that. I think his deep ball is definitely
better athlete.
Yeah.
I think he's honestly a better decision maker. He just didn't have his last year at North Carolina. He just didn't have as the same wide receivers he had the year prior. Yeah. He didn't have two guys that would be in an NFL roster.
We will. We'll see.
Reunites with Dynamite Brown, by the way.
Who? What?
Reunites with Dynamite Brown. I forgot about that. The Commanders drafted him last year.
Oh.
I didn't even realize that. That's gonna be fun for Sam Howell.
That's nice.
And of course, they drafted NBA legend Chris Paul, guard from Tulsa.
Yeah. I think this one's a little taller.
Oh, he is. He's 6'4". That's hilarious. So, let's go to their schedule. Because
this schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoever made the NFL schedule, fucking love you. Because their schedule is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. They don't have a lot of winnable games here.
But week 1 is against Jacksonville, the team that their fans dressed as clowns. Why they fucking sent the Colts packing out of the playoffs, aka Carson Wentz. Wentz had an awful game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could say that about a lot of them, but anyway,
I think the Jags eat them alive.
Yeah, I think
the Jags are gonna beat them.
The Commanders' defense is like gods of underperforming. So
the defensive line is good. It's just you're right; they underperform.
There's so much talent on that roster. They're just incapable of playing at a high level together in any capacity.
So happy Carson Wentz is there just to make sure that they don't have a high ceiling.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, they do have a high ceiling. It's just the floor is so abysmally low.
I think also the percentage of times they could hit their ceilings is not high.
No, absolutely not. No. Your defense is going to be on the field a lot. It's going to be like, here's my hot take. It's going to be like if you broke one of Jameis Winston's legs and sent him out to play. That's what this season with Carson Wentz is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get the 5,000 yards, but you're probably going to get like a 20-20 season.
I'm so happy I just looked at their over-under on the season 2. So let's keep going for the schedule, and then I'll tell you their over-under.
God, I don't want to know.
It's something that can make some money, honestly.
Okay.
Um,
So Jags eat
Jaguars,
them. Lions, I think the
um,
Lions beat the shit out of them too.
Eagles,
Eagles win,
get
no
rolled.
question.
Cowboys get rolled.
Yeah.
Like they could easily start the year 0-4.
Yeah.
Titans.
They could beat the
This
Titans.
is the sneak. This is the sneak game. I think they get their first one in Nashville.
Yeah. It's at
Chicago.
Nashville.
I just wanted to say that. I think it's actually
Okay.
at
All right.
DC. Yeah, it's in DC. So,
Okay. Well, I don't
um,
know.
so then they play the Bears. I think they can beat Chicago.
Yeah, I agree.
Green Bay. No,
Not a chance.
no. This next game is fantastic.
Oh
Day
yeah.
before Halloween. Commanders Colts.
Yeah, Matt Ryan is gonna fucking smoke them.
I think this is gonna be the revenge that a lot of these Colts players have wanted. I think this is gonna be nasty. I think there's gonna be a lot of happy Colts fans at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're gonna see that defensive line go crazy. I'm hoping for 3 sacks.
Vikings. I'll take the Vikings.
Same.
Eagles. I'll take the Eagles again.
Yeah, I don't think they split that series.
Texans.
I think the Texans are better.
Texans.
Yeah.
I'll take the Texans, honestly. This is gonna sound weird. I think Davis Mills is just a better quarterback than Carson Wentz.
Definitely more consistent, but better.
I'll
Uh,
take I'll say better. I think Davis
okay.
Mills was the best of the rookie quarterbacks last year.
Yes, that we both agree on.
I
I don't
think
know.
Davis Mills is a better processor and
Yeah,
decision maker than Carson Wentz.
I give you that for sure.
Arm strength, I would give the edge probably to Carson, but probably not by anything like sizable.
Nah.
And athleticism is probably about the same, honestly.
Yeah. I think
And next,
the only thing you could really say, yeah, real. The only thing you could say about Carson though is he's willing to put his body on the line every play. But again, it goes back to that doesn't learn from his mistakes.
yeah, and
Inability to read a defense, terrible decision
that's
making.
not always a good thing either.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
again, I think the Texans win.
My hot take for that Texans game.
Mhm.
I think our first round pick out of LSU is gonna get an interception on Carson Wentz.
Okay. I could certainly see that.
Derek Stingley Jr.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get 1 to 3 interceptions off Carson Wentz in that game.
I think definitely one. I don't think more than two.
Maybe two. Maybe two. Be cool if he what if he took 2 back to the house against Carson? That would
That
fucking
would
crack
be
me.
heat. I could definitely see a pick six in this game.
Yeah. Um, Falcons Commanders. Give me the Falcons. I
Mm,
think
let me
I
think
think the
about this.
I think the Commanders secondary just isn't good. I think Kyle Pitts and Drake London can kind of overwhelm it.
I agree with. I think it depends on who's starting as quarterback for the Falcons for me.
It's
Um,
really nothing here. I think it'll be Desmond Ritter.
if it is,
Um,
then Falcons. But if not, then I would.
Still Marcus.
Yeah,
Ooh, Marcus Mariota v. Carson Wentz would be so funny.
yeah. If it's Marcus, I'm giving it to the Commanders. So that's my conditional, I guess.
Mhm. I'll take the Falcons still, regardless of quarterback. I wouldn't take them if it's Marcus.
Why did they play the Giants back to back weeks?
I don't because they have a bye in between.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So Giants the first time, Giants the second time. I don't think their bye week even matters. They have a
No.
late bye too. That kind of sucked.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a playoff
And
team, it would be like a nice rest week, but
then they play Christmas Eve against the fucking 49ers. They
well,
have to
wait.
travel.
About the Giants. Do you think they split the series or just Giants roll
No,
both?
I think the
Okay.
Giants roll
Yeah,
both.
same.
I don't think the Commanders win a division game.
No, same.
49ers on Christmas Eve in San Francisco.
Yeah.
No, that's so bad.
Not a shot in the world.
Not a shot. And then they play Cleveland January 1st. If
Uh,
it's Deshaun Watson I think they get rolled.
Yeah.
If it's Jacoby Brissett, I think they win.
Do you? I think the Browns roster is good enough even without him that they can still walk over the Commanders.
It's late enough in the season. I think Nick Chubb probably won't be playing.
Well, yeah, but I mean they still have Amari, they still have
Kareem
the tight
Hunt.
end, yeah. So I think they could still win even without Deshaun. So I guess that'll be our like conditional plus minus still even this out here. And then versus the Cowboys, yeah, I think they lose again.
Cowboys.
So what is that like
Yeah.
two wins that we have? Maybe.
Yeah, I maybe two. Their over under is 8.5, so I'm smashing
What?
under on that. Yeah, they're not a 9-1 team.
There's
There's not
no
9 wins
way.
here. There's just not.
Bro, whoever
They are gonna have a top 5 pick, and honestly, you have if you have the money to have some tied up and over unders for a whole year,
yeah.
take it.
Bro, drug test whoever put out that over under cuz that shit is not real. That is crazy. There's no way you think this is a 9-win team.
Mm-hmm. By the way, the Cleveland Browns do not have one on here.
Yeah, that
We
well,
kind of can't until
yeah.
like we know what's going on with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, and that's how we're handling our fantasy football draft as well. I think it's probably just the smart thing to do. But especially when it comes to like gambling or drafting,
Mm-hmm.
there were players who said they didn't want to go to Cleveland until they knew what the deal was with Deshaun, or just not at all.
I think if Deshaun Watson has like 8 games or less, I think Will Fuller signs over there.
I would not doubt that at all.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm wondering if we're gonna see like a Michael Vick type situation where it's like after taking some time off, he's not very good, but he went somewhere else and finds new life. I'm kind of wondering if that's
Um, I don't think it's gonna be like the Michael Vick situation because he's not going to jail.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that, but he also hasn't been allowed to play in over a year.
I agree.
So I wasn't Vic was in jail for 2 years though, right? I think.
Yeah.
And then tried to return and it just didn't go well. But then when he went to Philly, yeah.
Okay, I guess it can be similar in amount of time
Yeah.
that they haven't played, but the situation blowing over,
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
definitely not the same.
No. Yeah. Well, sorry we had to end on a depressing note with this team, but yeah,
Well,
we're taking the under for sure.
no Commanders fans, don't be depressed because you're gonna have fucking CJ Stroud from fucking Ohio State next year.
Yeah,
Be happy.
you're gonna have a top 3 pick easily.
Or
There's
you're
like
gonna have Bryce Young.
the Bears are gonna probably have the first pick, but
I mean, okay, if you're Chicago, maybe we'll just talk about if we cross that row. But if you're Chicago, do you trade that pick? Do you keep that pick? Who
yeah,
knows?
I think that's kind of the so Chicago's actually gotten one of the most, if not the most talented quarterback in like your team's history. Uh, and like, well, I shouldn't say the most talented, like one of the most physically gifted, and
Mhm.
like, you have no offensive line, you have one running back, and the receiver
Yeah, I
core.
would say two. I think
Well,
Julio Herbert's solid too.
all right, okay, still, I mean, no offensive line and
Only one wide receiver to speak of.
Island
Your
of
tight
Misfit
end is a question
Toys.
mark.
Yeah, Island of Misfit Toys for the rest of the offensive line. Like
Pretty
your
much.
defense is always great. That's fine. We understand that. But when was the last time your defense won you a championship? 1982? Something like that.
85.
85? Yeah, 85. You're right. You're right.
But we'll talk shit about the Bears even more when the season starts because they're gonna be terrible.
Real.
Same with the Washington Commanders.
Real.
Sorry, Commanders fans.
I'm
But
not.
that's been our But hey, just to recap, NFC East, our champion, we're saying is the Eagles.
By
Second
far.
place, probably going to be the Cowboys. Third place, Giants.
Yeah.
Fourth place, Commanders.
And the second and third is probably going to be kind of close.
Honestly,
And I
could see.
apologize. I'm giving you a noise warning right now. So,
Mhm.
if you take the over on the Commanders, what is wrong with you?
Fandom's one hell of a drug. Well, anyway, guys.
Losing money.
Oh yeah, I'm losing money. Wait. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been Pitch Pass Podcast. We'll be
NFC
right.
East.
NFC East. And we'll see you next time to cover the NFC West and wrap up our off-season edition.
Real.
All right, guys.
Peace out, y'all.
Love y'all. Peace out.